we would just go into class and we'd have to pick a name first and then a subject and go up in front of the class and just talk about them. Well, that's not the easiest thing to do, especially if we don't know about the subject. Some of ours are pretty strange. But some tips are to try to select one or two main points for your topic to work off of. You don't want to get way into detail because this is impromptu, so you're not going to be talking for that long, maybe 3 minutes at the most of that. Organize your thoughts into a pattern and construct a quick introduction, state your main points, and be sure to reiterate your main points at the end of your speech. The old saying, the more you say, the less you say. The less you say, the more you say. Keep focused on your main point. It is easy to ramble off when you give an impromptu speech, so if you kind of listen to that saying, that'll kind of give you some guidelines.
If you say too much at one stop, people will be like, oh my god, she's talking, or he is talking too much. Like, I didn't know we had to stay this long in this one stop. And with that being said, we have our interactive impromptu speaking activity, and anyone would like to volunteer?
Oh, okay. Well, today we're going to be sharing the impromptu speech exercise like they said, and it's one that we did in our public speaking class, like Karen said. So we're going to give you guys a chance to try this activity and put your new speaking skills to the test. The reason we wanted to elaborate onto impromptu speaking with you guys is because when you guys go on tour, anytime someone stops and asks you a question, though your response to them is going to be considered an impromptu speech, which is an unprepared, unplanned, quick, maybe 1 to 2 minute speech. So we put topics in a bowl for you guys that have to do with the garden. We got to do this too in class.
Yes, we had to do this.
So we're going to give you guys roughly a minute, 2 minute time limit. When the 2 minutes come, when you're actually at 1 minute, it'll show a green light. When you're at a minute 30, it'll be yellow, and then when it's 2 minutes, it'll be red and it'll make a noise, and that means stop talking. Yeah, you can.
You can. We're hoping that it will just help you guys be able to be ready for
that
those.
impromptu part of it, when somebody asks you a question and you're kind of caught off guard.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll help you even realize maybe what you need to do more research on or read up on. So
In our class, like, if we didn't meet the time limit, we had to do it again.
And choose a new topic.
And choose another topic, so you might want to make it to that time limit.
So does anybody want to volunteer?
Anyone feeling brave?
Alright, let's see what we got here. So, just to make it clear though, we don't have to get to 2 minutes.
Oh, no.
No. We could do an example for you if you
Yeah.
I think, let's see.
You have to come up here.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll get out of the way.
Oh,
Wow. This is working with children, so I'm glad you asked about working with children. Actually, working with children in the garden, as I think we probably all know, can be pretty magical experience because you get to rediscover some of the things that you learned and you loved about discovering things in the garden for the very first time. And I happen to have an 8-year-old son who I'm trying desperately to infect with the garden bug, and we're getting there. We're making some headway. A good shovel. Tools are always a good thing for children, I think. But we've had a lot of fun in the garden, and that wondrous discovery, I think, is something that you really can nurture with kids. And I think here at Lakewold there are some, in fact, some tours that are specifically oriented toward children, if I'm not mistaken. And that actually, particularly for us docent wannabes that haven't had this experience, that would be a great tour to shadow as well, so that you can get a sense of what's different between the children, the information we're communicating to children, and the information perhaps that we're communicating to adults. And the last thing I would say is that working with children is so important for them, but arguably more important for us to rediscover the joy and the magic of seeing things freshly for the first time. Thank you.
We just knocked it out of the park.
That was good.
Come on up.
Stefana.
It's just blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's a good thing. I like the tell them what you're gonna tell them, and tell them.
Yeah, that was, we really
Well,
like that.
that's a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to remember.
Helps you keep
Okay, the tour off. I'm Jaretha, and I'm going to talk to you about the tour office at Eagles Gate. At Lakewold Garden, there is a tour office. And the gate that is near is called Eagles Gate.
Good start.
When you get to a gate, if you see an eagle, then it might or it might not be where the tour office is. Because see, there's eagles, they're like all over the place. She's got humor. So if you decide you want to go to the tour office is right in front as you're coming into the parking lot. And usually you'll see, it's like a little trailer. So I like to make sure everybody stop at the tour office so that one, they can get a map of the garden. The other reason is that you can pay your fee to come in. Eagles Garden, Lakewold Garden is definitely in need all the time of donors and people paying their fees because it's a public place. And then we love to keep it beautiful. So that little stop there at the tour office, you're going to get a lot of benefit and you're going to be able to give back into Lakewold Garden. So remember, the tour office is over at Eagles Garden.
Anybody else?
Yeah, one last volunteer.
One more.
It's not always easy to learn about things.
We get to pick somebody?
We'll pick somebody if you guys don't want to volunteer.
John's pointing to
Yeah,
I'm
that,
snuggling
Lady
that,
Abraham.
but
that will work.
The bar is set way too high. Karen, I'm with you, I'm shy.
next time I get habits you know about.
So imaginative.
Healthcare reform.
Good afternoon and welcome everybody. My name is Galen and welcome to Lakewold Gardens. Lakewold Gardens is an estate garden set up originally in the early 1900s by the Alexander family, later sold to the Wagner family. The Wagner family was prominent, I don't know if my facts are correct here, but in the shipping and forest industries. Lumber, thank you. Mrs. Wagner is maybe the brain trust of the whole idea of the Lakewold Gardens. And I think if my facts are correct, it was in the 1950s that she engaged a landscape architect by the name of Thomas Church. And Thomas Church brought ideas to this place, more of a formal garden setting that you see out the window here, the parterres and the brick walkway out to the rose garden. These are all features brought to this place by Thomas Church. I'm not so sure where he is from. Is he English?
San Francisco.
Yeah, but that's already been said today. San Francisco, Thomas Church. Anyway, a very prominent landscape architect who has certainly left his mark on the Lakewold Gardens. Now, we will proceed on to the next stop. Okay?